What should you do if you're over 55 years old and have nothing saved up for retirement? In this episode, I will give you my top 7 things you need to fix today. We're going to talk about what you can do if you're getting a late start. If you're over 55 years old and you have little to nothing saved up for retirement, you are not alone. According to a Federal Reserve survey, the median retirement savings for people aged 55 to 64 is $134,000. Many people approaching retirement age find themselves in this situation, wondering where time went. In the beginning of your career, you're young, just trying to get by, make ends meet. Maybe you started a family, bought a house, furniture, all that. You raise kids, pay for your kids' college, and now you find yourself in your 50s wondering where the time went, and you find yourself with little or nothing saved for retirement. Of course, starting early is better than starting late, but you can make up for lost ground. I realize everyone's situation is unique, and what works for one person may not work for another, and for a host of different reasons. My goal with this video is to give you some practical ideas and strategies to consider, ideas that can make a very big difference to you in your golden retirement years. And the number one is to really take an inventory of your situation. So look at your timeline and evaluate all possibilities. For example, if you're 55 years old and in good health, you have 10 years before you're 65. You can accomplish a lot in 10 years or even 5 years, but you've got to get intensely focused and have a real plan of action. Look at where your money is. Is it all saved up in savings account, 401ks, IRAs, the stock market, cryptos? Many older adults are equity rich, so don't forget to look at the equity in your house, your cottage, etc. And these hidden sources of money can be useful if invested correctly. That's why my number 2 tip is to know your numbers. First, create a spending plan. So you need to know where your money is going. You need to know your cash inflows and outflows and the income and expenses. And it's often called a budget. But the word budget is not a very popular word. I would suggest you change the way you think of budget. Even give it a different name if that helps. That's why you should call it a spending plan. Many people feel like following a budget is difficult, but following a spending plan is so much easier. In its simplest form, a spending plan is about knowing where your money is going and controlling where your money is going. A spending plan does not hold you back. It helps you spend your money on things that really matter to you. It sets you free. And to create that spending plan, you need to have a complete spending audit. Take the time to track all your spending for an entire year and categorize where you spend that money. Don't overcomplicate it. Or if you'd like, you can download a budget spreadsheet at marteleric.com. It's a free download, and I'll put a link below in the description.
My name is Melissa Tosetti. I'm the founder of The Savvy Life. And in a nutshell, what we do is we work one-on-one with individuals and families. We help them to define the life they want to live from a day-to-day basis. And then we help them create a spending plan to fund it.
Number 3 is keep more of your own money. After you've done your spending plan, you will realize that you're spending money on things that really don't matter to you. They don't bring you true happiness and joy. And you're going to want to cut those expenses. So cutting spending is very important. And when you have clarity on how much income is coming in and where it's going every month, you'll be empowered to make some changes. Imagine for a minute what it would be like if you could keep more than 50% of your income. If you could invest all of it every month for the next 5 to 10 years, how much of a nest egg you could accumulate. It would be a significant amount of money. That's why you need to marry condo your finances. And basically what you want to do when you're looking at your expenses is to get rid of things that don't bring you happiness. Maybe it's this exotic car or boat. Maybe it's a second home or cottage that you never have a chance to go to. Look at your recurring expenses and figure out what expenses you can get rid of. You will soon realize that you are paying for products and services that you do not use. Get rid of them. Technology makes it super easy to turn services on and off. So don't worry if you need it later on. I have a pretty funny story. I was just curious one day about my cable bill. I was paying, I think, over like $350 a month in cable bill, including high-speed internet access and all that. And I decided one day to call the cable company and say, hey, I'm just curious, what if I was to just like cancel the cable, all that, and just keep the high-speed internet access? I had very high-speed internet access, and I said, I just want to keep that service. I'm watching YouTube most of the time, or I'm watching, Netflix, so I don't need that, the cable. And the person on the phone said, well, your bill would be like $70. And I was just like, $70 a month. Okay, you mean like I'm gonna save $70 a month? And she corrected me and she said, no, your total bill for the month would be $70 a month, from $350 all the way down to $70 a month. I said, let's just cut the cable right now. Just get rid of cable. I'll just stick to high-speed internet. The interesting thing is that I was on my way out the door. I think my wife and I were going somewhere for a weekend. My younger son woke up shortly after we left and turned on the TV, only to realize that nothing was working. And I just told him, I said, well, I'm sorry. I said, I cut the cable, so you're going to have to, watch YouTube and Netflix and stuff like that. And he didn't care. I thought the one person, or my kids would care a lot about me not having cable. They didn't care because they were not watching cable. So I was spending like this $280 extra every month for absolutely nothing. Just to summarize, again, very important to do that spending plan. And then if you want to keep more of that money for yourself, then you need to review that spending plan and really focus on spending money on things that bring you true happiness. Now that you have that spending plan together, you have reduced your spending significantly. And now you have some extra money that you are planning to save, or maybe you should invest that money. And number 4 is about investing your money in cash flowing assets. Yes, you could do dividends, you could do T-bills, you can do bonds, but my preferred cash flowing asset is real estate, especially single-family rentals. So there are 2 strategies. One of them is flipping single-family rentals. That means you buy the distressed properties, you renovate them, rent them out, and you resell them to investors. It takes some effort to do this, and most of the time what you will find is that the best place to invest in these single-family rentals is going to be in the Midwest. So often you're going to be investing out of your current state, and that requires you to build a team on the ground to find these deals and talk to realtors, making sure that you're buying in the right neighborhood. So yes, it does take a lot more effort, but imagine that you could be flipping 1 or 2 houses a month, and that would give you a solid revenue stream, even though it's not like technically passive income. But you're at retirement, maybe you can spend some time to do your flip business. Again, there's a lot of things that you need to know here, and that's why I highly recommend that if this is something that you're interested in, then you should check my program called Flip System. We're going to connect all the dots for you. We're going to connect you with some online training, obviously, to get the basics out of the way. We're going to assign you a customer success coach. You're going to have access to my acquisitions team. So my acquisitions team is actually going to find deals for you. You don't even have to find the deals. And these are the same deals that they would analyze for my other company, Martel Turnkey. My team is going to connect you with everybody, the team on the ground, the contractor, the property manager, the realtor. Make sure that you are in the right neighborhoods, you find the right properties, and they're going to execute and manage the project for you on the ground. The other thing that's very important is that we're going to connect you with, the hard money lender if you need it, insurance. We're going to connect you with everybody that you need. So check out Flip System if this is something that interests you. The next question is kind of like, why single-family rentals? I think single-family rentals, they don't require that much money to get into, and there are multiple exit strategies. Obviously, you can continue to hold them in order to have cash flow. You can do a refi if you want to. You can also do a little bit of a higher quality finish and then sell it to the retail market. So you can also sell it as a vacant turnkey rental, but you can also sell it as an occupied rental property. The second strategy is around buying turnkey single-family rentals. So these houses are tenanted, we just renovated, and they're cash flowing from day one. The advantage of single-family rentals and real estate in general is that you have passive income, you have tax benefits, you have appreciation. The tenant is paying down your loan. Number 5 is that you want to get creative and think outside the box and really focus on what really matters to you. What is your goal? Is your goal to live in the same house that you've lived in for the last 25 years? Or is it to travel a little bit more and be a little bit more flexible about where you live and all of that? Do you want to live closer to your children and grandchildren, all that kind of stuff? This is something that's very important because often people are anchored by their house. I sold my house a few years ago, I think 5 years ago, and I never regretted it. And I've started renting houses instead. This really freed me so much. First of all, the house that I was living in was really a burden. Every day I was coming from work and then I could see the equity in my house. I had the huge amount of equity in my house that was just sitting on the couch doing nothing for me. And this is the first mind shift that you have to do, is that your equity, your money has to work for you. These are your employees. Your dollar bills are your employees. You need to put them to work. So if they're just sitting in the bank or just sitting in the house, they're not helping you achieve your financial freedom dream. They're not helping you achieve, your retirement goals. So that's what I did. I sold my house, released all the equity in the house, and invested in single-family rentals and a couple of apartment buildings. And I was instantaneously financially free. This is something that you need to think about and think about what is really important to you. Is the house something that's really important to you, or is your life experience something that is more important? And to me, the ability to travel more and to be freer is much more appealing than to be anchored by a house that I had lived in for, 18 years. Number 6 is about working longer. So if you don't have enough passive income to retire and you're still able to work, then stay at work, get more money to invest. Also makes it easier to get a mortgage if you have a W-2. So if you're planning to buy single family rentals, having a W-2 income is going to make it super easy for you to get a mortgage for these single family rentals. And number 7 is to stay away from reverse mortgages. A reverse mortgage is a financial product that's designed for homeowners age 62 and older, allowing them to convert a portion of their home equity into cash. And this type of mortgage is called a reverse mortgage because instead of making monthly payments to a lender, the homeowner receives money from the lender. The loan does not have to be repaid until the homeowner either moves out, sells the house, or passes away. There are a number of issues associated with reverse mortgages, and this is why I highly recommend that you stay away from that financial product. So as a borrower, you should be aware that there's going to be some high fees and high closing costs. You may not be able to borrow as much as you think. The loan balance increases over time as interest accumulates, which means that less equity for you in the future and also for your heirs. And finally, potential loss of ownership if you fail to meet the loan requirements, such as paying property taxes, maintaining homeowners insurance, and keeping the home in good condition. So all of these things could trigger the lender to actually foreclose on the property or force you to spend more money to maintain the property. I hope you found this video helpful. If you're 55 years old, good luck. Follow these 7 steps, the things that you need to fix in order to achieve retirement. You have 5 to 10 years left, maybe before your retirement age. It's not too late, but you have to take action and you have to focus. If you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.